Hello again, and welcome to part two of a series on what love is and is not on the new Character Matters program, the program where we talk about what I consider to be the defining issue of our time. The character crisis that we've been in for some time now and that affects every aspect of our lives. Said many times, we human beings have always had our character related problems. But we're living in times of a new normal, where all manner of behavior and attitudes, once regarded as unusual, highly abnormal, even outrageous, have become so normalized that it's hard for us to tell what normal is anymore. And in today's program, I want to talk just a little bit more about this concept that I call character, which is ultimately about the capacity to love. It's that aspect of ourselves, our makeup, the way we operate in this world that reflects our capacity to genuinely wish well for ourselves, for others, and for this world at large. Forging good character is no easy task. It never has been. And for some folks, it's particularly daunting. It's a tough, challenging job to forge a character of true integrity, even in the best of circumstances, because at heart, most of us struggle with the temptation to be selfish or self serving or to succumb to various temptations. We're human. And if being of good character were easy, everyone would do it. And if loving were easy, everyone would do that too. It's not. And so it's difficult. It's a challenging thing to do, even in the best of circumstances, even with all the right mentors, even with all the right formative environments, and even with all the right social support. So, for folks who do not have the right social support, who do not have the proper mentors, and who are in the worst or most adverse of circumstances as they're developing, the road is even higher. And if you add to that the fact that they may have some innate traits that they didn't ask for, but just came along with biology that make the road even more difficult, then forging decent character can be an almost impossible task. So it's challenging. But in the end, good character is what gives us the capacity to genuinely love. It's more than the superficial aspects of charm, charisma, likability, compassion, interest, all the many things that might draw two people to one another. It's well beyond that. It's the capacity to mean well, which means not self serving, not strictly self serving, I should say, because you have to be able to love yourself as well, which means you have to mean well for yourself. But that is not the same as being selfish or strictly self serving. But it's the capacity to mean well and to do well by yourself as well as others. It's also the capacity and the willingness in the heart to serve something bigger than your own self interest. This is so important. And it's one of the main points that I make in my latest book, Essentials for the Journey, which is all about the journey toward character integrity. Modern culture trains us to be as self serving as possible. There are so many aspects of it, from all the sensational titillations that attract us and that give us pleasure for a moment but leave us empty. There are all these things that keep us from developing the kind of wholesomeness and that keep us from appreciating the bigger picture and that most sadly keep us from developing the heart to serve something bigger than our own interest, to put something else at the forefront so that we walk with purpose, that there is a particular end in sight, that there's meaning to this walk that we call life, which is impermanent, is temporary, and which we never know might be taken. So, how do we develop that character? Well, there are certain principles, time tested, time proven principles that once were time honored, were very commonly recognized, more universally appreciated and embraced. Principles that I outline in Essentials for the Journey. Principles like coming to a greater awareness of and appreciation for things other than our own selfish wants and needs and desires, getting beyond an egocentric worldview, developing a capacity in our heart to really be mindful of what we say and what we do, even how we are, even how we move through this experience of life, recognizing that everything, every action, every intention has impact, affects something else. Physical science is realizing this. This is an interconnected universe. Something a trillion miles or light years even away can be affected by an event that far from it. You can't escape the interconnectedness of things. But with the mindsets that we are conditioned to have, we can't see or appreciate that many times. So we're not mindful of the impact of almost everything and whether it grows and nurtures and advances or whether it contributes to some degree of hardship and destruction. All these principles go into making up what I call good character, and they're outlined in the book, Essentials for the Journey. And embracing them, embracing the principles, and doing one's best to live them out is how you forge character and how you develop the capacity to really love. And also in the process to better discern another's capacity to love so that you're not unduly influenced by all the other things that might masquerade as love. So tune in for part 3, where we're going to talk about putting this all into action so we can bring some healing to this troubled, misguided, unfortunately too pain-filled world, doing our part to make it all a little better for ourselves and for everyone else. Till then, I'm Dr. George Simon. Thanks for tuning in once again. Take care.